The cafe copyright lights glowed softly that rainy afternoon, casting warm golden reflections on the wet streets outside. At a corner table near the window sat a woman nervously clutching her coffee cup. Her name was Emma. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from the weight of her hope. It was her first date in 5 years, a broken bar since the accident that had taken her ability to walk. She had met him online, a kind man, or so he seemed. He said he admired her strength, her smile, her honesty. For the first time in years, Emma felt seen, but as the clock struck 4, the world felt heavier. The man had texted, "Be there in 10. That was an hour ago. Then another message came, just 4 words that shattered her heart. "Sorry, can't make it." No explanation, no call, just silence. People passed by her table without a glance, her wheelchair almost blending into the corner shadows. The coffee had gone cold, but she couldn't bring herself to leave. She just stared out the window as the rain dripped from the awning, blurring the view of couples walking by hand in hand. Her throat tightened as tears gathered. "Of course," she whispered bitterly, "who'd want to be seen with someone like me?" Broken bar. At that very moment, a small voice broke through the sound of rain. "Daddy, look, that lady's sad." Emma blinked, lifting her head. A little girl with pigtails, maybe 6 or 7, stood near her table, holding the hand of a tall man in a charcoal suit. The man looked down, startled that his daughter had spoken up so boldly. "Honey, maybe she just needs some space," he said gently, but the little girl shook her head stubbornly. "No, Daddy, she needs a friend." Before the man could stop her, the girl walked right up to Emma's table, smiling. "Hi, I'm Lily. You look pretty, but you're crying." "My daddy says only strong people cry." Emma couldn't help it as she laughed softly, her tears turning into a shaky smile. "Hi, Lily, that's a broken bar. Very sweet of you." Lily climbed onto the chair across from her. "You wanna have cookies with me? Daddy says this cafe copyright makes the best ones." The man stepped forward quickly, embarrassed. "I'm so sorry, she's very friendly." "Lily, we shouldn't bother the lady." Emma shook her head. "No, it's fine. I'd love some company." He hesitated for a moment, then finally sat down too. He looked tired, as if the weight of the world sat on his shoulders. "I'm Daniel," he said quietly, "and a broken bar. I hope we're not intruding." "You're not," Emma replied. "Actually, I was just about to leave, but I guess a broken bar I can stay for one cookie." What started as a small act of kindness turned into a long, warm conversation. Daniel told her about his daughter, how he'd lost his wife 2 years ago and had been raising Lily alone. Emma told him about her accident, about how she used to love hiking and painting sunsets until one reckless driver changed everything. There was no pity in his eyes when she spoke, just genuine interest. He asked her questions that made her laugh again. Lily kept interrupting, drawing hearts on napkins, making Emma smile wider each time. Hours passed without them realizing. When it was time to go, Daniel offered to walk her out. As he pushed her wheelchair to the door, he said something that made her heart skip. "You know, most people think being broken means you can't be loved again," he said softly. "But I don't see broken pieces. I see someone who's still standing, just in a different way." Emma didn't know what to say. She just nodded, feeling her chest tighten with something she hadn't felt in years. A hope. Before leaving, Lily ran back to her. "Miss Emma, can we see you again? Daddy smiles more when you talk." Daniel blushed slightly. "Lily, a broken bar." Emma chuckled. "I'd like that." And just like that, what started as a painful day became the beginning of something beautiful. Over the next few weeks, they met often at the same cafe copyright, sometimes for lunch, sometimes just for coffee. Daniel brought work sometime as Emma found out he wasn't just any man in a suit. He was the CEO of a major company, though he never mentioned it at first. He said titles didn't matter much when you've lost the person you love. What mattered was connection and kindness. Emma started painting again, encouraged by both Daniel and Lily. The little girl would sit beside her, holding brushes too big for her hands, while Daniel watched quietly from across the room, smiling in that way that said more than words ever could. But not everything came easy. One evening, Emma overheard 2 women whispering at the cafe copyright. "That's her. one said. The one in the wheelchair the CEO's been seeing must be Charity. Emma froze. Those words pierced deeper than she expected. That night, she texted Daniel, "Maybe we shouldn't meet anymore. You have a life. I don't want to be your burden." Minutes later, her doorbell rang. Daniel was standing there, soaked from the rain, breathing hard. "Don't you ever say that again," he said, voice breaking. "You're not my burden, Emma. You're my reason to believe people can heal." Tears streamed down her face as he knelt in front of her wheelchair, taking her hands. "I don't care what people say. They didn't see the way you looked at life after everything it took from you. You made me believe in second chances." From that night, Emma's heart began to bloom again. The woman who once believed no one could love her now found herself part of a family she never saw coming, a man who understood pain, and a child who saw beauty in everyone. Months later, Daniel held an art exhibition at his company headquarters, not for profit, but to showcase artists who had faced physical challenges. Front and center were Emma's paintings of vivid sunsets, mountain trails, and one special piece titled "Hope on a Rainy Day." When she rolled onto the stage that evening, the audience stood and applauded. Daniel stood behind her with Lily holding his hand, both smiling with pride. Emma spoke into the microphone, her voice steady and full of warmth. "Sometimes, life breaks us not to end our story, but to help someone else find theirs through ours. If you've ever felt unwanted or unseen, remember you are someone's miracle waiting to happen." The crowd cheered, but it was Daniel's eyes that made her heart swell the most. They said everything she needed to know, and from that day on, Emma's Café copyright corner was never empty again. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and that love can find us when we least expect it, to hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more heart-touching stories that remind us miracles don't always happen in hospitals or churches. Sometimes, they walk into a Café copyright with a cookie and a smile.